Brandon, do you think Bobby Lashley's racist? I meant what? Wrong.
Oh, Bobby Lashley.
Brandon, do you think Triple H is a racist booker?
Honestly, I already know I'm gonna catch flack for this, but no, he's not. I feel like there's so many examples of him not being a racist booker. So many examples of him booking people of color to be dominant monsters, to be a threat. And just recent examples like Bobby Lashley, MVP, Her Business not reforming, stuff like that is kind of out of his control. So I feel like this is one of those situations where what can you do with Hurt Business in 2024? What could you do? Like what how would you book Hurt Business in 2024? Because if you watched them in 2020, they were perfect. They were great. But I feel like they broke up a little bit too soon to really show their full potential. But at the same time, it's like, all right, we get them, and then it's like you book them strong for the next 2, 3 months. But then we have the bloodline, and we have other factions, Judgment Day. How are they going to stand out according to them? Because they didn't have that much depth in their group compared to a Judgment Day, compared to a bloodline. You can't really make a story out of the Hurt Business other than them like dressing nice and beating people up because they are imposing. That's all I really
Yeah,
seen from them. So
that's true. That's a really good point. Like
mhm.
with the bloodline, there's this internal struggle of Solo Sokoa wanted to be the tribal chief, or like even before, like there's that storyline of Jey Uso is being undermined by Roman constantly.
Mhm.
Paul Heyman is like manipulating the Usos a little bit. Like there's those underlying stories that the Hurt Business just like there's no real story that you could tell there. I feel like, but
Yeah, I like because when you look at the bloodline, you look at Judgment Day. When these guys are eventually going to break up, they have stories that they could tell within one another. You're intrigued into what they could do as solo acts. But with the Hurt Business, it's like, okay, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander are done. What are they gonna do alone? So the only way that all these men work well is in a group together. But when they break up, it's like, what benefit does it really do? What benefit does this group do when they break up? Usually, what a faction does is it brings light to somebody who is not as good on their own, which is why they're in the faction to begin with, because they work well together. Their chemistry is off the charts. But when they're alone, it's like, what did the group really do for them? For example, Damian Priest. Damian Priest was in no man's land before he went to Judgment Day. No reactions. He was just getting mediocre pops as the U.S. champion. He didn't have any memorable runs. He got into Judgment Day. You're already clicked. You're like, all right. I kind of want to see where this goes. Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was in no man's land as well. She was in tag team matches with Liv Morgan constantly. I don't know. You put her in the Judgment Day. You're like, okay, I want to see what they do with this. Finn Balor, same exact thing. He came from NXT. He came back to the main roster. And then it was just like, all right, what do we do with him? He's not doing anything. Put him in Judgment Day. He's interesting. Now with Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, you put them in the Hurt Business. They're interesting. But when they leave, what value do they have? They don't really have any value. MVP is the one that sparks that value into them. And I don't know. I just feel like that debate is just, it's just nonsense. It's just recency bias. That's what it
yeah,
is. That's what I feel.
for me, the Hurt Business one is the one where like you can't, if you're being objective, you can't say that it was the WWE doing them wrong. I feel like,
Mhm.
but the one which the WWE was doing him wrong is Bobby Lashley. So like I want give us just your quick take on Bobby Lashley's like last year in the WWE.
His last year, 2024 or
Yeah.
2023. Because
Like
I could go with
combined,
both. Okay, I feel like
2023,
they're both
2024.
as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so for 2024, we didn't really get anything out of Bobby Lashley. We got the New Year's resolution thing that they had. Remember when the beginning of the year? Other than that, he made the Pride and he feuded with LWO, which was a complete utter disaster because nobody was booing the Street Profits. Let's be honest. Nobody's gonna boo the Street Profits. They're too likable. They're so fun as a tag team. You cannot look at this team and be like, I don't like this team. I'm gonna boo them. No, they're too cool. And that's the same thing with Bobby Lashley. He's at a point in his career where he can't be booed unless he's in a different company. But in WWE, he can't be booed. He's too likable. He's too such a good guy. Like he's a beast, but he's just I don't know. It's something about Bobby Lashley. He's just a legend in WWE right now. So
Yeah,
we kind of
like
just respect him.
I remember when he first turned heel, like literally the next week, the crowd was chanting Bobby Lashley like in support of him. Like people are hyped to see him. And it's
Exactly.
like this thing was a feel from the start, man. It's
He
crazy.
beat up Rey Mysterio and was getting cheered. Like
Yeah.
he was the hero. Like you do not beat up Rey Mysterio and get cheered. You will get booed for beating up the one of the best baby faces in history, and he got cheered for that.
Yeah.
So you see WWE like turning the knob and realizing, all right, we kind of made a mistake. We got to have these guys' faces. But the thing is, after they did that, because they had the match at Fastlane, I believe, was it? It was LWO versus the Pride. That was before they got their name, and it failed. Nobody cared about the match because it was two babyface groups basically going at it. The Pride took an L for some odd reason. LWO was just unstoppable at this time. And then the next few they were in was with Final Testament.
Yeah.
Anything Final
Carrying
Testament
cross.
touches turns to bronze. So I feel like Bobby Lashley and the Pride, the Street Profits were cold. Let's be honest, they were cold coming into this, but they're still liked, but they were cold. They haven't done anything important in a very long time. Bobby Lashley hasn't done anything important since 2022,
Okay.
2021, honestly.
The thing that some people would say is that like, okay, so they were meant to get over as heels and they failed as that.
Mhm.
Is that the WWE's fault or is that their fault as performers?
Um, I'll say it falls on both. It falls on both because Bobby Lashley, as let's just get the cat out of the bag. Bobby Lashley is boring on the mic. He's very boring. He has no personality on the mic. It feels like when you're listening to him, it's like scratching a chalkboard
I don't know
over and over
that
again.
Brock Lesnar feud was pretty funny though. Like I feel like he
It
was pretty
was
good at
funny.
that.
It was funny, but if you watch it back like I had to suffer for this damn video, it's not as good as you think. You will watch it back, you're like, Brock Lesnar kind of swept this guy. But don't get me wrong, Bobby Lashley looked very strong in that feud, but he can't really hold his own on the mic. That's his problem. He can't hold his own on the mic. And you can't really invest in somebody's character if they can't sell the story themselves. You can't just be big and strong. You could be that if you had a manager, if you had an MVP, but Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins are not gonna, they're not gonna be managers for him. They're not gonna talk for him. He has to do some talking for himself. And the Street Profits I mean, let's be honest. When was the last time the tag division has gotten any love?
Oh yeah, damn! It has been a minute. Maybe last
When was
year.
the last time? When was
Right.
the last time that they got defended on the PLE? Any of the championships, the tag team championships?
Like, was it WrestleMania last year? Uh,
No, 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 no. It was
no,
this
no, no, no.
year, WrestleMania this year.
Oh
That was the
yeah, you're
last time they
right.
got
You're right.
defended
You're right. Yeah, yeah.
on PLEs. That's insane. That's why the Street Profits are cold because they have nothing to fight for. Bobby Lashley getting injured at an unfortunate timing, dead in the water. They come back. The fans don't really care because you have nothing to sink your teeth in. We need no more part-time champions because Bobby Lashley could be fighting for the U.S. Championship. If you're not gonna put him in the main title, at least make him fight for the U.S. Championship because he wasn't fighting for anything. He was just fighting to fight. He was fighting Karrion Kross.
Yeah,
Come on,
but I mean, like
like
in fairness to WWE, it looked like they were gonna do the Pride versus the Bloodline before Bobby got injured, and that could have been really interesting. Also, they were gonna do Bobby Lashley versus Carmelo Hayes, and then like that got scrapped too. So like, and both of those were really interesting stuff. So like, just an unfortunate injury at the worst time.
yeah, that's how I feel as well. I feel like the Bobby Lashley and Carmelo Hayes storyline could have went well. I feel like he could have been added to the group, honestly. I feel like that could have been like a understand your place, understand your role, but I'm gonna recruit you because I kind of like your attitude, and I want to recruit you to our team. I want you to be better. Like like a character development for Carmelo Hayes and going from this cocky bastard to now, oh, I kind of want to be like you guys. Like I want to be more professional, and I want to only beat people up when we need to, not beat people up just because I want to prove a point. What do you think about Bobby Lashley and the Bloodline? Like you mentioned, what do you think? How do you think that would have played out in 2024? Because like you know how Bloodline Civil War might happen. So how does Bobby Lashley play into those plans if he was never injured?
Damn, man, it's tough to call because like the WWE's been booking the Bloodline really strong of late. So I think
Mm.
it would have probably, instead of it being Randy, KO, um and
Cody.
Cody, like they would have probably done the Pride versus the Bloodline, and the Pride would have probably been beaten twice. To be honest, like they would have used them to like gas up this new
Yeah,
Bloodline, this because they're in the SummerSlam main event, so they have to. But that's probably what would have gone down, I think.
that's the problem. That's where the racist allegations come into play. That's where people are like, they shouldn't be losing to the Bloodline 2.0. They don't have no credibility. It should be Bobby Lashley, and it should be. That's how it happens. They blame that on racism rather than realizing that the Bloodline has more value than the Pride right now.
Getting back to the main topic, okay, I'm gonna name like these two groups, and you can tell me like, because people are saying the LWO versus LDF stuff. Do you
Mm.
find that that was racially influenced or not really?
Um, I didn't enjoy it. I'll tell you that much. I didn't enjoy it. Racially motivated though. Uh, I guess you could see I could see where they're coming with that one because I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. I have an actual tweet talking about how they should stop doing Mexican Mexican versus bad Mexicans versus good Mexicans. Why is that always a thing in WWE? Why is it never like Mexicans versus another group, another ethnicity? It's always Mexicans versus Mexicans. It's never the other way around. It's weird. Like it's insane. When you look at Dragon Lee's run in WWE so far, who has he been feuding with for this entire time? Legado del Fantasma. Who like what other notable thing has he done? He's feuding with Judgment Day, and the only person he's feuding with is Carlito. Like, what is going on? And LDF and LWO, two dead groups. You can't really do much with them right now. But them going against each other, I don't want
Yeah,
to be
no,
signed up for that no more.
yeah, I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all either. But I kind of got it. It's weird because like you kind of had to use Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio for this because the story they were telling is like Dragon Lee is the next Rey Mysterio, so that makes sense. Even with Santos, like generational thing, but
Yeah,
I don't know. They just dragged it out for way too long. So then people are like, why are they fighting each other every single SmackDown? And that was a big
yeah.
issue. Okay, I also saw. Do you think Damage Control is racist?
Damage control.
Because it's all
Um,
Japanese women in the same group.
no. Reason why is because they were all best friends outside of WWE, so makes sense. You know, they're all Japanese. Why not?
Yeah.
It makes sense. I feel like if they didn't know each other at all, and WWE just came up to them, is like, you're Japanese, you're Japanese, you're Japanese. Get into a group, get to know each other, go out for a dinner, do something. I want you guys in a group, but they knew each other outside of WWE way before they came to WWE, so it makes sense. And then you add Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai is like the cream of the crop for that team, honestly.
It's a little bit weird, but like overall, with the discussion that we've had, would you say that Triple H is racist? What is your conclusion?
It would be crazy if I say like no, and then something comes out saying that Triple H is like the most racist asshole. But
Yeah.
honestly, because you have evidence of him being racist, like I mean doing racist things when he was wrestling, actually wrestling.
I know, but that
But
could have been Vince too, though, right? That was
yeah,
probably
but you,
Vince. Like the Booker T
but it's
stuff, that
like,
was definitely Vince.
oh yeah, but it's like you're the son-in-law, so it's like you have more power than other people
Oh yeah,
to
true.
like say, we don't want that, you know?
That
Like he
is
was
true.
dating his daughter, so you have more power than a Booker T. Like you're saying, you have powers like like, are you really gonna get in trouble? But nah, I don't think Triple H is a racist because yeah, he had Keith Lee as the main champion. He had Oscar, I mean, not Oscar. He had I meant to say Athena, which is what was her name in WWE? I forgot. Wasn't it Athena?
Ember Moon.
Ember Moon, Ember Moon. There we go. Yeah, Leo Rush as well. Yeah, so many black people were who were actually booked like stars. Swerve Strickland when he was in
Velveteen
WWE.
Dream.
Velveteen Dream, even though he went down he went down the cancellation path from the
Yeah.
IWC.
Deserved though, right?
Yeah. Hmm?
Actually, maybe I shouldn't speak on that. But I said deserved, but I haven't looked into it, so I don't really know.
Yeah, me neither. I just watch videos and I don't really speak on controversial topics like that because it's just like, why? There's no point. Uh, but other than that, I don't think Triple H is racist. It just happens that a majority of the people who are actually on the top is not black people. So, but it's like I'm not gonna cry because of that. I like the fact that Street Profits are on TV. I like the fact that people of color are actually getting time, like Mia Yim. Um, like
Then
there's so many ethnicities there in WWE right now. Everybody thinks it's just white people. It's no. There's
yeah,
Australians. There's Scott people from Scotland. Like just there's people from everywhere around the world in WWE. Why is it just like why is people of color like black people like the main people that's like they need to push black people, but they push so many people.
yeah, and the ultimate disprover, like just look at Bianca Belair, bro. Like under Triple H, a year-long reign, she's booked
John
very
Cena.
strong. Yeah, exactly.
John Cena. She is John Cena for the female division. When Bianca Belair won that Rumble, I was so happy because like finally a person of color was getting respect. Like that was around the time where what's crazy? I just realized 2020 was the year for black people in WWE.
Bobby World Champion.
Bobby Lashley, Bianca Belair, Keith Lee. Vince McMahon's not slick, man. It's like it's like he thinks, oh yeah, the people are they're not gonna care about this one. Like they're gonna
Uh,
like me and say we push people of color. He's not slick, but hey, it worked out for Bianca honestly because she's great. She's great.
I disagree with the notion that Triple H is racist. You guys can let us know what you think in the comments, and yeah, that's it.